Oh, wow. You're actually wearing your hair down tonight.
Yeah, because I finally decided that I love my hair. I figured out the solution for my morning frizz, midday poof, and even next day bedhead. It's Frizz E Secret Weapon Touch-Up Cream by John Frieda.
Well, you and your hair look flawless.
Flawless and touchable. Feel.
Oh.
See? It's soft. Smooth ends, no flyaways, shiny.
Well, I clearly need to get some because your hair looks amazing.
Frizz E Secret Weapon, only from John Frieda.
Blog Talk Radio.
It's here.
Hello?
Have you checked the children?
They're all pots, all of them. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. I'm afraid!
Don't be afraid!
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Gingy.
Pain has a face. Allow me to show it to you. Gentlemen, I am pain.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
Have you checked the children?
Have you checked the children?
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
I think he's in trouble.
Julie, this guy, if he can't take a joke, he stinks.
There's no more room in hell. The dead will walk here.
Look, just a flesh wound.
Hello, Flesh Wound Radio Freaks. I am Daniel Shine, joined, as always, by Todd Loya. Welcome to another fright-filled episode of Horror Society Presents Flesh Wound Radio. Todd, how goes the day?
So far, so good. Got some interesting films tonight to discuss, and quite a bit of news, I think, for it's been a little bit slow. Last week we had some good stuff, but...
Yeah, we have kind of a bit of a ultra-gore theme tonight with a couple of our movies. Tonight is a night for gore hounds. Not everything, but we do have a couple titles that certainly deliver on that. So how was your week, man?
It was good. Nothing... I would say nothing super eventful. I just gloss over everything, but good. How about yours?
Mine was good. Yeah. One day I'm going to ask you, and it's just going to be like Coke and bitches all week, man, and that'll be, But no, we lead boring lives here at Flesh Wound Radio. It's light on the Coke and very light on the bitches. So I'm afraid. I'm afraid it's usually watching movies for you guys.
Yeah, see, if you asked, because I can go on like an hour and a half tirade on my wrestling weekend, but I try to spare our listeners that. I do have Vegas this weekend, though.
Oh, so you're going to Vegas?
Yes. With the wife and kids, so.
Oh, okay. I was going to say last time I was there was for the AVN Awards and weekend, so obviously you'll be doing different stuff than I did.
Yes, I hope so. And maybe yes. My family, or my wife and boy, they're going to see a show, Pentatonic, I believe, the acapella kids. And maybe I'll go hit up the Godfather strip club while they're doing that.
Oh, that's actually funny. The thought occurred to me last time, and I was like, oh, shit, I should have figured out where the hell that was. I did not get to go. Is that still open?
Yeah, and I can't remember what it's called. I can hit up some industry people. I know I was just told the name this past weekend, too, of the one he's actually at. And he's still there, apparently.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I know I heard one point he was getting back into the business a little bit. I don't know if I've seen him pop up on the indies, though, But yeah, my weekend was pretty good. I did have a really miserable time, though, at a strip club. It was during a snowstorm, and I don't know if you've ever been in a club like that during a snowstorm, but God, the dancers, they were all like just pissed off. It was like the lamest. It was so lame. There was only like 3 of them, and it's just about the lamest, most sad experience I think I've ever had at a strip club. But so yeah, there were some bitches. They were just very angry, very sad. Yes, I still have a lot of ones in my pocket.
That's because the coat guy couldn't make it through the snowstorm.
Yeah. Well, this is West Virginia, so yeah, they're pretty seedy clubs. I'm sure Godfather's establishment is much nicer. But anyways, now that we got that little tirade out of the way, we do have
set a tone. We set a tone for today's episode, apparently.
Hey, I always lead off with what did you do this week? Hey, that's what I did this week, and it was fun. Hey, we tell the truth. Anyways, so a little bit of news. Wow, going back almost 20 years, 19 years to be exact. Richard Stanley, the legendary director of Hardware, has promised that he is going to finally make his true vision of the island of Dr. Moreau. As many of you know, that film was a huge debacle. In fact, there's a new documentary coming out, which no promises, but it is screening at the Winchester Draft House Alamo Draft House on March 1st, and I may get to see that one. So you guys might get a review. I guess next week now, if I'm lucky. And yes, apparently Stanley just recently said, at this stage it looks very likely. It's too early for me to name the company involved, but I was actually put under contract in January to write a new draft of The Island of Dr. Moreau, which is already completed and delivered. The project has come back to life, which I think is a side effect of David's work. I suspect the original script simply came too early. If it had come now, it would make sense as a VFX oddity. I think Dr. Moreau is going to be better. I've had 20 years of hindsight. The plan is it's going to resurface initially as a graphic novel next year from the humanoids who picked it up. And if that works well, then the insane plan is to develop the comic book back into a movie again. So that's interesting news, and the name of the documentary is Lost Soul, the Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley's The Island of Dr. Moreau, which is going to be put out at some point by Severin Films. I don't know if it's got an official release date yet, but it does have screenings all over the country, particularly at several of the draft houses in Austin. Todd, actually, I think you get a Los Angeles screening with Richard Stanley and David Gregory there. I don't know, it says February 27th through March 5th, but you may have a shot.
Okay. I was going to say, please don't be this weekend. Maybe I can sneak up one afternoon and go see it.
The way they list this, I'm assuming Stanley and Gregory are going to be there each day, I suppose. I don't know. It's at the Cine Family for you LA listeners.
Okay.
So it's several different screenings, so you definitely want to check out probably Severin's Facebook page. Will have a link.
I have to look. I have to look if there's an Orange County one too. I don't really. If I don't have to drive to LA, I don't.
It might actually be worth the trip, though, to meet Richard Stanley. I have to say, I think he's one of the great visionaries who's never truly gotten to show what he can do, at least in a very long time. But yes, have we ever talked about The Island of Dr. Moreau, or when you've been on? I know Chris and I discussed it way back. What's your take on that film? I actually never hated it, despite despite its reputation.
Yeah, it's funny with that one. It's one that I've never truly loved, never truly hated. it's a bit of a mess, but I can't. There's still something about it I enjoy, but not like it's not when I'm like, ooh, I want to watch. I'll probably get that itch after the documentary, but it's not when I tend to pull out that often. I think I watched it, once on VHS, once on DVD, and once recently. Did it come out on Blu-ray? I want to say it did.
I was going to say, yeah, I have the Blu-ray. I liked it enough.
Okay, I was going to say, I think I need to watch that. Yeah, I could watch it a few more times. I had them on a laser.
But it had like some very good moments. It's like you can kind of see. There might have been a good, maybe even great movie in there somewhere. Marlon Brando definitely fucks that one up a bit, and I know Val Kilmer was at the peak of his douchitude at that time, so it was a tough shoot. But I just want to know
if that story's true. I guess we'll find out in the documentary. That the story, or the legend at this point, that Richard Stanley snuck back on the set as one of the creatures and was there the whole time after
that
he was fired?
Actually, that is true. That is absolutely true. Richard Stanley confirmed it on the Criterion Island of Lost Souls Blu-ray, I believe. Yeah, actually, I'm positive it was that. That was true. He snuck back on set. I can't wait to see the documentary. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it on the date that they're having it, but
we'll have to contact Severed. We might be able to get some press passes, or we'll talk off the air.
Yeah, absolutely. If we can get a review for you guys, we'll definitely do that for you. Another bit of news. We'll probably be reporting a lot on this because this is definitely going to be huge. But Sigourney Weaver and Neil Blomkamp have talked a little bit more about the upcoming Alien film. Still no release date or anything like that, or shooting dates. But he recently talked to Entertainment Weekly. And quoting him, "Over the years, I came up with the story for a film in that universe that I wanted to make," said the director. And then when I talked to Sigourney Weaver about her experience making them and what she thought about Ripley and everything else, it informed and changed the film I wanted to make into something different. It just sort of stuck with me. A year later, when post-production was winding down on Chappie, I started fleshing out the idea for a film that would contain Sigourney. Fox never knew. I just worked on it when I could. Before I knew it, I had this really awesome film with a lot of artwork and a lot of backstory. And then I didn't know whether I was good or not, so I just kind of sat on it for a while. Sigourney Weaver also recently talked about it. I would love to take Ripley out of sort of orbiting around outer space and give a proper finish to what was an excellent story. So when somebody like Neil Blomkamp suddenly said, "Well, I'm interested in finishing the story," my little ears perked up. As for Blomkamp, he revealed to Sky Movies that he's looking for his film to be a genetic sibling to Aliens, meaning that he's essentially aiming to disregard all subsequent installments in the franchise. So, yeah, a little bit, not a whole lot of new stuff there, but nonetheless, it's happening, and I'm very excited. I was starting to think maybe Sigourney was getting a little bit too old to come back to the role. I know she's well into her 60s now. I mean, she doesn't really look dramatically different, but I think that's going to be a hell of a film.
Yeah, what is this? It seems like they're pulling H2O on us, but I don't think anyone's screaming at the rafters. 3 and 4 were my favorite Alien movies. Continuity-wise, how do the Alien vs. Predator films fit in? Are they just kind of in their own world?
Well, I'm taking it those are just going to be in their own.
Yeah, they've always kind of just existed as standalones.
I mean, they're not exactly beloved films at this point, so I don't think there'll be any kind of reference to that.
Yeah.
I think Blomkamp's the guy to do this.
Yeah. Those Alien vs. Predator movies are from that other Anderson who's not getting any Academy Award nominations. Definitely not Wes.
I don't. Oh, hey, there's one more Resident Evil to come. You never know. It could happen.
This is true. Yeah.
Mila could finally. Mila may have to do another plot shot to earn that one. She hasn't done that since the first one, so you never know. But yeah, I'm gonna go and see Chappie. I don't think it's this weekend. I think that's next weekend. I think 'cause it's March. I think it's got to be next weekend. So I don't know. Maybe that might sort of fit for a review. We might do a quick one on that, possibly. In other news, actually, seems like this movie. I swear it's been forever since we first reported on this. I mean, going way back. Arnold Schwarzenegger's zombie film, Maggie, which I'd almost forgotten about. And apparently it's going to be getting a May 8th release date. It's directed by Henry Hobson, where Arnold plays the father of a 16-year-old daughter, Abigail Breslin, who is infected with the zombie virus. Staying by her side as she transforms from human being to flesh-eating monster. The film also stars Jolie Richardson, Amy Bassett, Rachel Whitman Groves, and Aidan Flowers. There's also some photos online now from this. It seems a little more dramatic than you'd expect out of, Schwarzenegger's zombie debut. It doesn't sound like it's going to be Arnold machine gunning his way through a shitload of zombies, but I could be wrong. Are you excited for this one, Todd?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the Arnold Schwarzenegger Toxic Avenger, but this one does look promising.
Yeah, I don't know. He's an interesting casting choice for this, but I don't know. His acting skills have improved a little bit over the years. It could work.
Is this Lionsgate, by the way? I don't know if you said that.
I believe yes, Lionsgate acquired.
I kind of for some reason I'm feeling kind of it's gonna end up like The Voices, and just get a VOD release and disc and stuff. I don't know why. I've had that feeling from the get. It just doesn't seem like big theatrical fare to me. And I don't know if that's just because Schwarzenegger's older, throwing to the zombies.
Oh.
I don't know.
He's one of the few 70s, 80s, 90s action stars that have not gone direct to DVD yet, at least as far as a starring role goes, unless I'm mistaken. I don't think I am. You could be right. I could see this being the first one, possibly, that he does go direct to DVD, but he does have the Terminator flicks coming out too. So,
and that's the thing, though. It's not like it used to be going direct to. You get your little theatrical window, a couple there, then you get your big VOD push, and it's not like the old days where everything had to go through traditional and you had to see the commercials. I mean, you can throw some ads up. People know about stuff a lot better than they used to.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, like I said, Schwarzenegger is closer to 70 than he is 60 now.
Yeah.
As crazy as that sounds. So, I mean, if he does a few films that go direct to DVD, I'm not exactly calling him a failure. And I know it was also announced that he's going to be in at least 2 more Terminator sequels. So you'll see Arnold on the big screen for a little while, I think.
How much is going to be CG young Arnold at this point, though?
Huh?
I said, how much is going to be? Because I've seen some of the footage with the young Arnold in the films also. I wonder how much we're going to see of that moving forward in those Terminators.
That could be interesting. I was going to say it's going to be interesting to see buff Arnold versus man boobs Arnold in the sequel. That's going to be kind of bizarre because he's starting to look his age. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's in great shape. I'm sure I won't look half that good when I hit 66 or whatever he is now, but he is starting to look his age.
Yeah.
So we look forward to that. We'll definitely VOD see it. I'll go see it in theaters. Actually,
me too.
You know who the daughter is, don't you?
I know the name was announced. Who is it?
I could be wrong, but I believe she was also the daughter of Triple H in the classic WWE studio film The Chaperone. So that's got to equal success right there.
Hey, and isn't Arnold a WWE Hall of Famer?
Yeah, he will be soon. He will be soon. A couple SmackDown appearances.
Hey, they gave him a title belt replica and everything.
Hey, it could be Kevin Federline going in, so, can't complain.
I would prefer that. He was an awesome heel. I wish he would have stuck around the business.
That is true. They should bring him back. I don't know if he could pass the physical anymore, but
yeah, I was gonna say I don't know about now. He kind of looks, more like Tugboat than he used to.
Yeah. Hey, he could bring the gimmick back. They own that. So,
oh, jeez.
It's always possible, but we'll try not to go on wrestling tangents tonight. But, anyways, another bit of news. Actually, pretty cool. I mean, I'm not necessarily a big fan of her music, but I do think it's kind of a cool casting note. Lady Gaga is the first cast member announced for American Horror Story Hotel, the 5th season, which is apparently now called Hotel. She announced on Twitter that she's joining the cast, and yeah, the talk is that this is going to be in modern times now, as they've kind of jumped back and forth from the period pieces. I really loved last season. Todd, you haven't caught up on American Horror Story, have you?
No, I have not. And did we mention last week about the actor from last season who just recently passed?
Yeah, I think we mentioned Ben Wolf, who played Meat on the last season, did pass away. I think, but he hadn't passed away yet. He got hit by a car window apparently, and he did pass away, I believe, a few days ago. It's very sad, actually. Was a very nice guy. He was a school teacher. I think disadvantaged kids or something. You can see some interviews with him online. He was a really nice guy. It was a small part, but it was a memorable part.
Yeah, and I had not realized I had met him because he was at the Unlucky Charms screening because he was one of the little guys in that.
Oh, okay. Yes, I think he was in that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
did you get to talk to him much?
I talked to him a little bit, but I mean, because I didn't really, know other than the Unlucky Charms, I didn't really know what else he'd done. I hadn't followed his career. I think I was more enamored of Stuart Gordon being there. Ooh, Stuart Gordon.
Yeah, Wolf was making the convention round, so I know there'll be a lot of people disappointed. But yeah, really nice guy, and it's a shame because I know you don't watch the show, but there's a lot of reoccurring actors on the show.
I am aware. I've watched the first couple. I just need to catch up. Maybe in the off season,
season?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
okay. So you're.
I've just I think I need to watch Coven, and this will be season 5. Yes, Hotel.
Yes, this will be the.
Okay, yeah. What do they call the first one? Now I know they added on a subtitle for it. I can't remember what they call it.
Well, it didn't have that subtitle when it came out, but I believe it's Murder House.
That's what it is. Yeah, I know it didn't. So it's like throwing in the episode 1, A New Hope, on the title.
Yeah, personally. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say yes. I've seen Murder House and was it Asylum following that one? Asylum,
yeah. Asylum and Freak Show have been my favorites. Coven was probably my least favorite, but it's a pretty good show. It's they get away with quite a bit, actually. It's quite fucked up at times. I know you're a S.H.I.E.L.D. fan of the show, I should say, and the wrestlers, but it's Michael Chiklis is in Freak Show.
Okay, yeah, I remember when we reported that. I was like, I'm going to catch up and watch it. I'm going to catch up and watch it for this season. I know you have to. I know, we've had this discussion before.
Well, I can't say that anymore, though, because now there's a lot. I mean, Pepper, Naomi Grossman's character from Asylum, played the same character on Freak Show, and there was some. Now there are connections being made, so it's no longer standalone. So you're probably wise to wait. I mean, there haven't been. I mean, I can't say to anybody that's not watched American Horror Story that now you must watch it from the very beginning. But, there may be more and more links to come. But that's all I have for news. But I know you have a few brief news bits before we get into our reviews for the evening.
I do. And the first bit of news we have is the first bit of casting news from Rob Zombie's latest film, 31. And the man himself announced that Torsten Vogt from 8mm and The Lords of Salem has signed on to play the character Deathhead in the upcoming film. And yeah, that's really the only bit of news about it, is the first bit of casting. And, he talks about the crowdfunding thing. And the crowd ends the crowdfund, I don't know what platform that one's on. I know it's got 74 days left to go, and there are some pretty good perks. I'm wondering if I'm going to get one to get a Blu-ray or not. I haven't looked into it yet. But, yeah, I mean, so Torsten Vogt. I'm trying to remember who he played in Lords of Salem. It doesn't say. Do you remember him or know any of his other work other than the two mentioned?
I know his work. I've actually met the guy. I'm trying to remember who he played in Lords of Salem. I believe it was one of the blink and you miss it roles with the witches, flashbacks, I think.
Yeah, because he's super tall, if I do remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
want to say he's
Monster
like Tyler
Mania, I believe. I don't know that he's quite that big, but he's a pretty big dude. I met him at Monster Mania. Of course, he was sitting down at the time, so I don't know. It's hard to judge. Tyler Maine's a big son of a bitch. I must say, he's one dude that meeting him in person, he's a lot bigger than you'd expect. I'm looking forward to that. Like I said, Rob Zombie, it's always a little different. It's he always inspires a lot of passion in the horror community. He's like the John Cena of the horror community, Some people, it really makes sense. I just thought of that the other day. I'm like, some people hate his fucking guts, others love him. Probably more emphasis on hating him. But.
Yeah, and it's funny that is a very good comparison. And if we want to bring it full circle, he did call some matches for WCW. Do you remember that?
Yes, that is true. That is true.
I remember him calling one of Jericho's. But yeah, I don't know. This one I'm really looking forward to. It's not a remake. It's something completely his own, and he, as he said, it's going to be in that tone. I think that most of us are looking forward to of his first two films, which I think that is the tone that which he uses in Halloween, but it doesn't really I don't necessarily want that. And we didn't get that earth-shattering announcement that Sid Haig and Bill Moseley will be in it yet, but I expect them to at the very least have some cameos.
Yeah, I part of me almost wonders if he won't do that at some point, just to say, okay, I've done this on every movie. Maybe I'm just gonna really stick to a more basic cast on this one. I don't know.
Yeah, but didn't we get them all in Lords of Salem also, or was Sid missing?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah. He definitely does. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't know if he wants to do one that stands out a little bit more rather than just, my wife's starring in it again,
That was the biggest mistake, I think, from Lords of Salem, because I think, as much as, I enjoy the Rob Zombie remakes, but they're not my favorites by any means. I think Scout Taylor Compton should have had that lead. I think she would have brought a little more to it.
She could have. I mean, she's the right age now, I think. I don't know that I would say that Sherry Moon is a fantastic or diverse actress, but I am a fan of her. I don't think she's as bad as people make her out to be. I
agree with that. I just think that was a lot for her as the lead.
Yeah,
I think she's great in a slightly reduced role. Firefly Clan, she's not the lead. She's part of an ensemble, in Rejects, and even less in House of 1000. And I think that's what as the lead, you got to carry everything. And while she did do a good job, I kept seeing, as in my head, I kept seeing Scout could have, especially after Halloween 2. I think she could have brought something really cool to that role.
I could definitely see it, and she's been kind of. I'm trying to think of. I haven't really seen her in anything lately. Not that she's solely property of the horror genre. Actually, she's in that really horrible one, 247 Degrees or something like that. It was really bad.
Was all, yeah, I was going to say that was. I know she popped up in something else. I can't remember what, and it was a smaller film.
Yeah. But yeah, as always, we look forward to that review. And Todd, I think, did we hit everything?
Well, real quick, we got a tweet for The Walking Dead that the season finale on March 29th is now supersized to 90 minutes.
Good news.
Yes, and then one last bit, I guess we'll just get this out real quick. The next chapter in the storied Amityville franchise, we'll talk about the latest one tonight. Amityville The Awakening was slated for release January 2nd, 2015, and we didn't know what happened, so they caught up with the producer, producer Jason Blum to find out. And basically, they're still in post on it. He's very happy with it. They're continuing to have conversations with Dimension and Weinstein about how it's going to come out, but it's definitely going to come out. I think people are going to like it. Jennifer Jason Leigh is great in the movie. I'm hoping to do another movie with Frack. I'm really pleased with it. My guess is we'll announce it when it'll come out sometime in the next 12 months. So basically, that's kind of where we're at with that one. I'm thinking, October makes sense.
Is anybody truly psyched for another Amityville horror? It just seems, I don't know. I mean, even the first one. I mean, it's not a bad movie. I just don't consider it like one of the all-time classics that a lot of people make it out to be. I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It might be very good. It's possible.
I agree. I like James. I cannot think of the leads. James Rowland. I like him as the lead in that one, but I think he does a really cool performance. But I'm not a huge fan on that one either. I prefer the second one, like a lot of people. Hell, I even love the third one, but I am a 3D whore, admittedly. But the cheese factor in that, That's definitely a good one. And then there's some of the Amity sequels I do enjoy. The Amityville Curse.
The second one's great.
Yeah, the second one is great.
The second one's a fantastic movie. I mean, it rips off Exorcist, but what wasn't ripping off Exorcist at the time? And I think the second one is by far the superior Amityville horror movie, personally. But on that note, we will get into our reviews. Yes, segueing directly into a new Amityville film that is not officially connected to the actual franchise. I should point that out. And that is the Amityville Shit House, or Death House. Amityville Death House. And from the back cover, this is from indie staple Mark Polonia of the Polonia Brothers. When Tiffany and her friends arrive in the town of Amityville to check in on her ailing grandmother, they discover an ancient witch's spirit possesses the old house. One by one, the demon curse, empowered by the Dark Lord Eric Roberts, destroys the descendants of those who condemned his servant to death over 300 years ago, ultimately possessing the bodies of the innocent and transforming them into hideous creatures of destruction. Okay, so Todd and I already had a little discussion about this flick. Number one, if you're an Eric Roberts fan, this may be the last. Really? Oh yeah, he's a great actor. Pope of Greenwich Village, Runaway Train. The guy. People may have forgotten, but he was in some great movies. This is not one of them. This might be one of the final nails in his coffin. Eric Roberts isn't in this movie, despite getting top billing on the front cover. Eric Roberts narrates while probably the director's son is in a Halloween mask. That's all it is. It's narration. But that's the least of the problems with this. This movie is... It's going down as a shit pickle in my book. There's nothing good about it. Typical amateur... Well, I shouldn't say typical. I mean, bad amateur acting on display in this one. Of course, gothic horror is very difficult to properly pull off on a budget. I mean, just some of the effects work in here is just absolutely dreadful, and any kind of mood it's trying to establish is quickly just pissed on. I mean, there's a lot of stupid moments in this. I mean, God, I have so many things written down that I want to complain about, but the CGI bugs in the fridge, the house. Oh my God, the CG house. That was, oh God, I fucking hate this thing. Even the makeup wasn't particularly good. The grandmother, that looked like a horrible makeup job, and I'm sitting there thinking, it's like, God, it looks like she's got like a fucking slime on her face. How can the granddaughter not tell something's up? This movie, I would compare it to being fist fucked by Ian Rotten in the Taipei death match. That actually might be more fun than watching this movie. This was the shits. I mean, I was trying to find something nice to say about it, because there are people involved with this. I mean, Fred Olin Ray is a producer. Brett Piper does some effects. Mm-hmm.
Which I have to give you props for busting out the shit pickle, because that is definitely a Fred Olin Ray.
Yes, somewhere Steve Latshaw is just going, Jacko is better than this shit.
This is true. I wish we did have a Fred Olin Ray moderated commentary with the director for this. Honestly, all I wanted to do was just flip over the track, just have Fred say shit pickle, and then it's silent for the rest.
I don't think Olin Ray is going to be able to say anything good about this. I mean, there's some, 10 seconds of novelty stop motion in this, which is, I'm sorry, doesn't matter. But Todd, I know you hated it, but Do you have anything you care to harp on?
You know, the Necronomicon, I mean, come on. I mean, that was literally the Evil Dead Necronomicon. They didn't even make their own up. I mean, I was trying to see, is that small enough to be the DVD set?
It might be.
It was just, I was like, wow. What happens when Dan takes a movie? I'm blaming you all on this one.
I did pick this, and I thought I saw it, I'm like, you know what, I have a good feeling about this. I mean, the Polonia brothers did some, you know, very low budget stuff, and you could go way back to some of their early stuff. It's all better than it. I don't care if this is more polished. I mean, this movie, there's just nothing to recommend it. I mean, literally, if I wasn't an anal collector with, I mean, God only knows, 10, 15,000 movies, I mean, I would literally throw this out and break the DVD just so some homeless person doesn't, you know, make the mistake of watching it.
I know. That's when it's hard, because then they had to go and use that damn Amity title, so it's like, well, I need to put it with the rest of the Amity titles. Damn collector OCD.
Yeah, but this will be going on the bottom shelf somewhere next to some Paris Hilton horror movie.
Do you have a shit pickle shelf?
You know, I don't. I've always thought about it. The really, really wretched shit with no redeeming values it's really not even on a shelf. I kind of like pile it up against one of the walls in my library. That's kind of what I do.
You have to get like a skull and crossbones soda. Do not wash. Sign on it.
Yes. Yes, I think I may have to do that. And this, I will say, there was a really funny line in this, and it's the only good thing I can say. Horrible acting. This guy busts out the line, "She has the witch's teats. She's a witch."
Yes.
that was the only time I actually laughed. He didn't really have an accent. I don't know.
Yeah. Now, did she have the 6 tits? I'm kind of confused on that.
I don't know, and I don't fucking care. 6 tits. We may make people if they want to watch it.
Yeah, there weren't 6 good tits. It was no Total Recall times 2.
No, you won't be motorboating that shit. So yeah, not a reason you need to see this. So, I mean, I rarely do this. I think I've only, done it a few times since we've been doing Flesh Wound Radio. But this gets a 0. I just can't think of any reason for anybody to watch this. I mean, it doesn't work in any way. And this is not how you do gothic horror. This is definitely one of those movies where they should have just thrown in a bunch of naked chicks and maybe have the teeth guy deliver some more lines like that.
And what was this one? 1 hour and 20, I want to say. At that, and I mean, it seemed longer than last week's, cinematic, epic. Camp Massacre go by in a flash compared to this one.
Well, hey, Camp Massacre just made the mistake of being too long. There was at least some good stuff there. This one, if this were 2 hours 9 minutes, I really think I'd start cutting myself. I mean, it's just it's just that bad. So yeah, it gets a 0 for me. Todd?
I was a little bit more gentler because the artwork's kind of cool. I give it a 1. Not much difference between 1 and a 0. Do we actually have an official definition of our 0?
A 0 is just. I've always a 0 is something that. I mean, a 1 is still a very shitty movie that you were not recommending you see, but maybe there was 1 or 2 little moments. A 0 is just something. There's just nothing there.
I'll stick with the 1 just for your favorite line, so you don't have to do it. There you go.
There you go. Yeah, that line wasn't enough for this to escape a zero. This is
but yes,
bad.
absolutely. Do not. I can't even. I know someone's really going. Now I want to check it out out of curiosity.
No, because like I said, it's not. This is not funny bad. Although you could probably pick it apart on movie nights with friends if you really wanted to. But most of this movie is just lame. It's just lame. I love bad movies. I love, ridiculously poorly made, movies that still manage to be entertaining. This one really doesn't. I mean, it's a chore to sit through. So there we go. That's Amityville Shithouse. So I guess changing it up a little bit, we'll do one of our retro titles next, and that is New Year's Evil, the slasher, slasher from the golden era, 1980, certainly within those few years where the slasher genre was at its peak. This one's directed by Emmett Alston and follows Diane Blaze Sullivan, the host of a nationally televised punk rock show on New Year's Eve, is receiving calls from a mysterious killer who tells her of his plans to off someone at midnight in each of America's major time zones, and she will be the last. Starring Roz Kelly, who played Pinky Tuscadero on Happy Days, Kip Niven, Grant Kramer of Killer Clowns, and Luis Moritz of Death Race 2000. Well, they keep going on about all these people, but yes, so I just watched this one for the first time in a long time. Todd, what do you think? Has it been a while? Were you a fan? Are you a fan?
I pull this one because I pull this one out every. I think I watched it every New Year's the past 10 years, except for this one because I knew we were going to be getting this.
Wow.
Yeah, because there was an MGM MOD disc too, also that was out before this. But yeah, so I've been watching for quite a while. Although to be honest, this is the first time in quite a while I've watched it without a few beers. So it's still never been my favorite. It's a fun little slasher. It's definitely not going to break anyone's top tens. I mean, unless you're doing the top 10 of a specific holiday slasher, then it might crack at number 10. But as all-time slashers, I don't think it's cracking it, top 10. It's good. It's entertaining for what it is. But it's not, The Burning or The Prowler or, any of those from the golden era. Honestly, it's not even Friday the 13th. So
no, not at all.
Yeah. But if you like that, it's definitely a time capsule slasher though, with all that, hair and music and style. I guess
Yeah. It's time capsule's definitely accurate on this one. It's actually one of the first really like punk rock horror flicks that I saw, way back when. I don't want to say it's the first, but it was definitely one of the first ones that I saw back in the VHS era.
I even hesitate to call this punk rock because it's so watered down.
That's true, but that's definitely what they were trying to go for.
Yes, they were.
I mean, I swear probably like a good 30% of this is like music numbers from these random bands. Dumb Blondes was one song I remember, and
I wish I would have pulled our musical interlude from this soundtrack. Damn it.
Well, if we can find Dumb Blondes, we'll play it next week. It was a bit catchy. They had a couple catchy tunes, and they were horrible, but horribly catchy. But I mean, as far as the film goes, surprisingly enough, I didn't hate this revisiting it. It's another one that I can't even really remember what I thought of it when I first saw it. I didn't love it, I didn't hate it, but it's kind of the case with a lot of slasher flicks from that time, aside from obviously the classics like The Prowler. But On the negative side, this is very low on the blood count, blood and gore. There's maybe one kill that I would even classify as decent in this movie, truthfully. A lot of off-screen kills. I mean, they even commit the sin of doing an off-screen shower kill. So you don't even get to see nudity. It's just, I'm going to take a shower. No, I'm not going to get naked. I'm going to get stabbed off screen. I don't know. I forgive them because it was 1980, but... Mm-hmm.
And every time that happens, you die inside just a little bit, huh?
You do, yes. I do die inside just a little bit. I wanted to see her boobs, but I didn't
just go rewatch the Funhouse. You'll be happy.
Exactly. Yes. From the golden year of 1981. But yeah, I mean, the production values are actually pretty good in this. It's better than quite a few similar films of the time. Kip Niven, I thought, delivered a really good performance. It's one of those films that I feel a lot of people will probably watch it just to laugh at the 80s fashion, which is on full display, the horrible but catchy music. There's not a lot to say about it. There is an interesting twist, particularly I think at that time. That I was never like bored by this one, and there have been a few recently that I've revisited that have hit Blu-ray where I have been very bored.
Yes, even ones we were.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say even ones we were looking forward to, and we still like those oddballs. Speaking of which, Screen, can we get some more oddballs, please? I'm glad this got released. This is another one I was really happy they announced too. Well, again, I said it's not my favorite. I got to have something to watch, on New Year's Eve or right around that time. Or there's a couple others. There's New Year's Evil. Wait, no, this is New Year's Evil. What's the other one? Jeez, I can't even think of the other one. But do we want to cover the featurette? 37 minutes, I believe it clocked in at.
Yeah, it was a very informative featurette. The one thing I did want to throw out, my favorite part of the movie was the drive-in scene, Blood Feast, Bloodbath, because I actually have the poster for that double feature. So that was I actually had forgotten about that, and I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, if you're just summing it all up for me, anyways. If you're a fan of slashers from this period, it's definitely not the worst. It's a kind of a unique premise. Some very good actors in this one. Happy Days fans, you'll remember the lead is Pinky Tuscadero if you're a classic TV fan. I can't recommend it probably to a lot of new fans, or if you love the 80s, it's definitely worth checking out. And the movie, for me, I'm giving it 2.5 stars. All in all, it kind of comes off as average. But if it had a little more gore, a little nudity, it would have helped.
Yeah, I'm a 3. I don't know, and I can't believe we went this whole review without mentioning this is a Cannon Films release also, so that alone should up the cool points, because Cannon was definitely great company of the era.
They weren't
that Cannon that we all know and love yet, but they were right before, right about to be. You can tell when the logo changes. But
yeah.
So yes, I gave it a 3, just a little bit higher. Not surprisingly, I do watch it annually. Featurette. I was surprised we got that nice long 37 minutes. I just expected, disc and HD and a trailer. I was pleasantly surprised. Although, and I don't know if it was my player. Did you watch the trailer?
I did not watch the trailer, no.
Oh, you'll have to pop it in, because it seemed like it was squeezed. There was mats on the left and right, but not like 4x3 mats, just slightly. It should have been stretched out to fit because everyone looked a little squashed, and that was bothering me. I don't know. I didn't try it in my other player, but I thought I should mention that.
Oh, okay. No, I did not notice that. I will say, in terms of extras, I was very content with this. I mean, this is not one that you would, like you said, I don't see it. Well, somebody out there probably is, but I don't see it making too many even top 10 slasher lists for the era. But I really enjoyed the featurettes. I think Taffy O'Connell, who played the nurse, she's definitely been under the knife since then. Very funny. She gave some interesting stories, and Kip Niven, you wouldn't even recognize him anymore. Grant Kramer I've met a whole bunch of times. He's really made the rounds for Killer Clowns on the convention circuit, and I think this was his first movie. He tells an interesting story of not being SAG and having to take care of that at the last minute. It's a good featurette, and in terms of the extra features and the disc in general, I didn't check out the trailer, but I can easily give this 4 out of 5 in terms of the extra features. You really could not ask for any more than you get for this particular movie.
Yeah. And I did not even expect that. I was like, okay, maybe we'll get one interview and we'll be done, but I was really, really happy with that. Because there's not a lot of, info on this one.
Mm-hmm. No, not really, but I don't know. Maybe there's more people out there that really love this film than I think there is. I don't know. It's not a film that I ever really to friends about that often.
Yeah. Well, and it's not really been an easy to acquire film. I mean, it hasn't been, had a DVD release other than that MOD release. I mean, since the VHS days, I managed to record it on MGMHD or a couple. I don't know. It's aired a few times on channels, and I know I've had a copy of it for years because of the airings on channels. But yeah, so it's going to actually get a chance to, gain a following. I mean, the Scream Factory diehards, I'm sure, picked it up already, and hopefully,
I'm one.
It gets a little bit of I guess a second opportunity to people to discover the film, even if it's not the greatest.
If you're an 80s. If you're an 80s aficionado, you should definitely check it out. It's just the decade in general. It's like you said, it's a time capsule.
Yeah.
So yes, that is New Year's Evil. Well, yeah, we'll get in one more review and then we'll do our musical break. Our next film, another new Blu-ray release of an old classic. God Told Me To, from 1976, from legendary director, producer, and writer Larry Cohen. And God Told Me To follows a rooftop sniper who guns down 14 pedestrians on the street of New York City. A mild-mannered dad takes a shotgun and blows away his wife and children. A cop goes on a sudden shooting spree at the St. Paddy's Day parade. And each of these unlikely killers makes the same dying confession: God told me to. Now, a repressed Catholic detective, Tony LaBianco, of the French Connection, must uncover a netherworld of deranged faith, alien insemination, and his own unholy connection to a homicidal messiah with a perverse plan for the soul of mankind. And it goes on a little bit more about some of the cast, which we'll get into. So we have never talked about this one, so I'm kind of excited to talk about it. I don't think we've even going back like 5-6 years. Excuse me, 5-6 years to the early days of horror theater radio. I love this film. I actually think a classic, quite frankly. It's I apologize. I got a frog in my throat, apparently. I think this is one of the most creative, interesting, low-budget movies of the 70s. It boggles my mind that Hollywood hasn't remade this. It's weird. It's deep. It's wild. It's disturbing. I mean, it's a masterwork of 70s cinema, in my opinion. Probably one of my favorite religious-themed horror films, and although it's more than just that. It's one of those ones I remember watching because I'm a Cronenberg fan, and not that this is, well, there is a bit of a Cronenberg in here in a way, but it's one of those movies I saw when I was a kid, much like Videodrome, that I loved. I didn't really understand it, but I just loved it. It was so weird, and I was a weird kid, but it holds up great. I mean, it just explores so many interesting themes. I mean, atheism and faith. It's a very weird movie. It's definitely not for everybody. Richard Lynch at one point kind of has a vaginal opening on his stomach, which everybody's getting hot watching that. Well, I have a lot to say about this one, Todd, but what is your opinion on this one? Because I'm a big fan, obviously.
I am too. I'm a huge early Larry Cohen fan. Q, Bone, It's Alive. I even like some of his later stuff. But yeah, he's definitely, if his name's attached, I definitely check it out. And yeah, I like to. This again, we brought up Time Capsule earlier. This is a different one, just different time, different coast. Or wait, was the last one in New York? No, it was in the West Coast. Yeah, I mean, you even got Andy Kaufman popping up, as said, at Deranged Cop.
Before he was pile driven by Jerry Lawler, yes. It happens on every... we can't even avoid it at this point. Yes, before he was pile driven by the King Jerry Lawler. Google it, kids. That might come to the network.
Yeah. This is true. Hopefully. Sorry, I'm just sidetracked. I was thinking. God's Way Me Too, yes. I don't know if I'd say it's my favorite of Larry Cohen's early. I have a huge soft spot for It's Alive. But also, I've strangely always been drawn to Bone, or maybe that's not too strangely. But yeah, there's always something about this one. It's just, you mentioned Cronenberg earlier and being a youngster. I'm the same way with this one. I mean, I watched it. I didn't really get it, and I don't know, probably when the Blu-ray or DVD came out is when it really clicked for me. I'm glad Blue Underground finally, put this one on Blu-ray. I'm hoping we get Bone, but I'm not counting on it. It seems like the lesser of the three. I mean, Q got snatched up by Scream Factory, whereas, a lot of the youth now are the Scream Factory diehards. I'm definitely Blue Underground all the way, always have been. Great to see him put this one out. Yeah, it's weird because I don't. Would you call this horror? It's just so.
Yeah, I definitely would. I mean, it's a lot of things, but yeah.
Because and it's mentioned on the extras, which is totally true. The handheld style they went, that is basically what you see on every police procedural, is here. And it's funny now because that was new then, but now it's just what you associate with that kind of, because it is kind of a, cop on the beat trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Kind of what you see now on all those shows. We just know Richard Belzer.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is just one, if you haven't seen it, it's just one, I don't know why it's not, I mean, it's definitely got its following, but it's another one that I'm like, God, I'm just surprised that this isn't bigger, than it is, and I'm amazed it hasn't gotten a remake because, I mean, I'm sure the remake would probably deviate from some of the stuff this one does, but it works perfect for me. So many of those New York-based films from the 70s and 80s tend to work really well. Yeah.
Basket is another New York with an always fun. But I like that era of New York. I mean, definitely, I agree. That's why
Giuliani.
Yes, I'm the same way with the West Coast too, though. Like I love Vice Squad. With gritty L.A. back in the day. Although that looks pretty much the same. But yeah, I agree. I like the look of it. It's that, and as he says, or in some of the extras, they basically steal every shot in that movie.
Richard Lynch, I had the pleasure of meeting him. He died not too long after I got to meet him.
Did you ask to see the chest vagina?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I probably should have. He was actually a super funny, cool guy. I mean, you could tell he wasn't in the best of health, but he was definitely in good spirits. I mean, we talked a lot about Albert Pune and Sword and the Sorcerer, one of my favorites. And I had the pleasure of helping to interview Albert Pune once on another show. So, we talked a lot about that, and he was just such a cool guy. I think I did mention God Told Me To. We didn't talk as much about that. He didn't have much of a line, and it was one of those cool experiences where I actually got to speak to him a little bit rather than just my usual, here, you can sign my stuff. I'm not going to make the guy behind me wait. Really cool guy. Great seeing him again in this. And, the actors in this, were all fantastic. It was actually, Bianco was a last-minute replacement for 70s fave Robert Forster, who apparently didn't get along too well with Cohen.
They said they shot 2 days of it, and he wouldn't stop chewing his gum.
Well, you can check out Forster in another Blue Underground Blu-ray Vigilante if you want. Great flick. And probably my all-time favorite actor of all time, Joe Spinell, also pops up in that one. Yep. Yeah. Blue Underground. I'm glad to see them getting back into the release swing. We've got those post-apocalyptic titles coming.
I know.
And they all Bronx Warriors, and
they all dropped to dropped to $17.99 sometime last week.
Yeah, I had mentioned on the show, they're going to drop to a normal price because they started at like $30, and I'm like, Blue Underground's not a price gouging company, so yeah, you can get those for $17.99 now, and they're well worth it. Blue Underground, they were the kings.
Yeah, I think it's time to take the crown back. And I think maybe that week we'll have to have a special post-nuke show. We already got 3 right there. We'll grab a couple other recent ones, or maybe we'll put a couple off to review them. Because then we have a couple other post-nukes coming up. I know there's a certain company we're waiting on. The Code Red.
Well, yeah, we have Exterminators of the Year 3000, which we'll probably have a review for next week, hitting Blue. And, yeah, someday maybe Olsen will put out the Code Red titles. I mentioned last week Wheels of Fire is going to be the first one.
Equalizer 3000.
Yeah, I know that.
I want someone to put Hands of Steel out in the U.S., damn it.
Yeah, yes. I'm a mark for anything post-apocalyptic at that time. Even some of the... I don't think I can name one, quite frankly, that I don't enjoy. That's an easy job.
If they're Italian and made in that time, you can't do any wrong with me on those.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm an easy mark. Those are just...
Again,
I love those movies.
My biggest hope is we get that Asylum knockoff because of Mad Max. That would be awesome.
I mean, hell, it seems like we've waited forever for the new Mad Max to come out. I'm surprised that they haven't, because, I mean, it's supposed to come out a good long while ago. I'm surprised we haven't already gotten it.
I know.
Although it would seem we would know by now, because Mad Max is what, May?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, May. So I would think we'd know something pretty soon.
Maybe it's not going to happen. My dreams. I can only hope. I'm just gonna ask. Who would you cast in the lead of the Asylum knockoff?
Honestly, I would go back and get Fred the Hammer Williamson. I think. I mean, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't do it. I mean, there's some bigger actors doing it. I'm trying to think. Let's see some other Asylum. I'll tell you what. Let me put a quick rain check on that, and we'll rate. Obviously, I'm giving. Yes, God told me to 5 stars.
Okay. I was just saying for that. We'll save our little post-nuke rant for the very end. How's that?
Yeah, we'll do that because I was going to say it's really going. But I just love these movies. It happens, folks. But yes, God told me to. Obviously, I've creamed my pants over this movie. I love it. I think it's a classic. And I do want to point out Bianco, fantastic actor. I give this one 5 stars for the movie, and as far as the package goes, 5 stars too. I mean, you get pretty much everything you could want.
Yeah, my only complaint about the extras is we get some repeat information on the Q&A and the commentary. Yeah. That's the only thing. Honestly, I think you can skip the original 8-minute Q&A and just watch the 21. Not that I'm complaining it's on there, because if that wasn't there, that was on the first disc, I'd be tremendously annoyed. So some overlapping information happens. But yeah, I'm with you, film 5 and the overall package 5. And I'm glad, they went back to the original key theatrical poster, right, for this Blu-ray release. Not that I dislike the Bible DVD-looking one, but I'm definitely glad we got that original artwork.
Absolutely, and yeah, if you don't own this in your collection and you're a horror fan or cult cinema fan in general, definitely pick this up. It's well worth it. Everybody's always gushing over Scream Factory. Love Scream Factory, but Blue Underground did a fantastic job on this, so pick it up.
I've long said Blue Underground is the horror criterion, and I'm sticking with that. Sorry, Scream Factory.
Hey, Scream Factory, give it a little time. I'm glad we have both of them, and Blue Underground now really getting back in the release swing. So
the reason I say that is because with Blue Underground, we seem to get quality, not quantity. Not that I'm saying anything bad about Scream's quality, but I'm just saying that's what I've always kind of felt, But
that's true. Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
There's not a lot of non-classics, particularly that Blue Underground's put on Blu-ray. I mean, I'm just kind of looking at my section. There's really, Snuff probably the only truly bad film that I think they put out on Blu-ray. So, Todd, I guess we will go into our musical break, and this is for the next film we're going to review, correct?
That is correct. So we will take you to Taeter City, not to be confused with Paradise. So we'll be back in 5 minutes, and then we'll be back in 5 minutes, and we'll talk about the brand new release Taeter City. So here's a little sample of the music.
And we are back, correct, Todd?
Oh, we are back. I was a little slow at our unmuting there, but so if you had some dead air.
I repeated the and, so okay.
Yes.
So, yes, moving on to, that was from our next film, Taeter City, City of Cannibals. Nice little tune. We'll see if the movie measures up to the song. So yes, this is from writer-director Giulio De Santi, and this film takes place in the futuristic metropolis of Taeter City, which is managed by the Authority, a dictatorship that rules with an iron fist. Utilizing a special radio wave system called ZEED, the Authority is able to distinguish criminals from law-abiding citizens. However, these special radio waves also alter the demented brain waves of the criminals and force them to commit suicide in horrible ways. A special police force called the Bikers then retrieves their corpses and delivers them to massive slaughterhouses that supply the mega fast food chains with the human flesh products that are needed to feed the hungry masses. The Authority's hand has managed to keep the citizens under control for quite some time, but a series of unforeseen chaotic events has slowly been undermining their rule. Follow along with the adventures of the three crazy biker officers who are charged with restoring order before their entire world crumbles around them. So, basically what will happen if Mike Huckabee becomes president. So, I don't know, maybe a little bit too political for our listeners to get. But anyways, Todd, what did you think of this one? It certainly reads as being cool, but did you think it was?
That's a weird, we kind of touched on this off the air. I did like it. I'm not a huge fan of the manga style, but it was definitely a bloodbath. It was entertaining. But I'm trying to think of the best way to put it, because I didn't hate the film at all. I actually enjoyed it. It just was a little not my style, I guess is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because performance-wise, gore-wise, I mean, the plot was interesting. It was definitely batshit, off-the-wall film, and it was fun. I definitely think with a few beers it would have been a little bit funner.
Yeah, it's funny that you put it that way, because I actually have down that this is the perfect film for stoned gorehounds. That's kind of like, because I'm kind of like you. I'm not a big fan of that sort of manic manga style, so I didn't really love this movie either. But again, it's one of those ones I can't hate on it too much, because it's not marketed towards me. I mean, it says right on the back about being inspired by manga, and it is very gory, but at the same time, some of the gore, the style, the look, it's not what I particularly love. It's actually strange, because I am very much a gore hound, but there's been Demon's Rook was another one I wasn't super enthusiastic about that we reviewed recently, and I don't know, this is another one. It doesn't work for me. I'm kind of like you. There's definitely an audience for this that I think will like it a lot. I mean, it's kind of like a really sort of fucked up, gory Judge Dredd manga type thing going for it. Not much of a story, very little dialogue. I just didn't love the look. I don't like the the manga style. I'm no expert on manga. My younger brother was a huge fan of that, and I just never quite got it. But yeah, I mean, if you like bizarre visuals with some creative gore, A lot of CG sort of action mixed in with the practical stuff. You may like this one a lot. It's a really tough movie to say. If you like manga and you like gore with very little dialogue and character development, you might like it. I mean, Todd, what else do you have to say about this one?
The dubbing was decent. Yeah, I mean that pretty much you nail it. If you're a big fan of manga, or I guess as you pointed out, if you're a big fan of the earlier work, Adam Chaplin, this is right up your alley, right? So if you like that going in, if you like that one going in, you're probably going to love this one too.
Yeah, Adam Chaplin was another one. I was advertising the goriest movie made in 20 years. I didn't necessarily agree with that, but yeah, very similar. I probably preferred Adam Chaplin a little bit, if my memory serves me, but like I said, it definitely will appeal to you if you like the things we mentioned. I mean, this is post-apocalyptic. I never totally hate anything post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
I would have. I mean, ideally, I would have done this movie very differently. I think maybe the presence of a more active villain in this also might have helped. But yeah, I mean, I have to give it 3 stars. I mean, it's very inventive. It just wasn't really marketed so much for me, but that may be a different case for you the listeners. So.
Yeah, I agree. I also have 3 written down. I'm sorry. And the one thing I did have to mention, and I kind of wish I wouldn't have taken the plunge on the U.S. disc. It's bare bones, no audio options. I think it does have some English subtitles, but I also have the import collector's edition that was given to me. And that one has the soundtrack on the disc, a few extras, behind-the-scenes stuff. So I was kind of disappointed none of that got ported over. And that one actually, the version that I had was the collector's one. It came with the autographed poster from the director, some little cards for coupons for Taeter City, I guess. I don't know, some weird stuff in there. It's definitely a nice package.
I have the U.S. release and everything, and but it's also cheap too. I mean, I think I got it for $11.99, so it's not an expensive release. I'm kind of glad to have it in my collection. If you're ever in the mood for something really different, if you're a weed smoker, I think you'll get even more out of it.
At the very least, you got some nice cities on the cover.
That is true. So yes. That is Taeter City. That's available now. Is there a Blu-ray overseas?
There actually, I want to say there is now. There wasn't when that collector's edition, because the collector's edition actually was DVD-R. That I think the director put a little bit of amount out. I believe there is one now, because when I was looking for images from the film, I want to say I saw it was either an Australian or a German disc, maybe both.
Okay. Well, I know we have a couple Aussie listeners, so there you go, guys. You can pick that up if you choose. So yes, moving on to our final film review of the evening, Zombie World. Oh, I'm sorry. What?
Is this a case? No, I was going to say, is this a case we saved the best for last?
It very well may be. We definitely did. We definitely got the shit pickle out of the way first. Oh my God, did I hate that movie? Ugh. But anyways, let's see. Will we fare better with Zombie World, which I should say is in no way a follow-up to Zombieland. Obviously, that's marketing. And this is actually presented by Dread Central. So. Yes, from the back cover, there is nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. The zombie apocalypse has come and our world now belongs to the dead. From Ireland, Canada, Australia, Europe, and all over the U.S., the bone-chilling news reports tell the same gruesome tale. Walking corpses terrorize and devour the living. Only a few desperate humans find the courage to stand and fight for their last chance at survival. But the hordes of the undead keep coming, and there's only one thing on the menu: us. So yes, I didn't really know a whole lot going into this, except it's a zombie movie. Dread Central was putting it out with their name on it, and yeah, that's enough for me to pick it up. I did not realize that this is actually kind of a patchwork film. It's a collection of shorts and short films from other directors. There's actually 12 directors here, and I'm just assuming the newscast stuff with Bill Oberest Jr., who once again another cool comedic performance from him this time is the news anchor, kind of ties it all together. So we can kind of review this, I guess, in a strange way, segment by segment, and we probably won't do it totally that way, but I actually like this film a lot. In fact, there's about 2 or 3 segments that are straight up excellent. And I want to throw out there because in my description, some people will see I mentioned Zombie Jesus. They have a flashback 2,000 years ago, and it's a story. I'm trying to remember if they, I don't know if they named that one or not, but I know at the end of credits they kind of named some of the segments. But they go back 2,000 years, and Jesus resurrects somebody, and that resurrection obviously goes wrong. This is utter hilarious. I mean, I busted a gut laughing at this. The strange thing is, this is actually was an Indiegogo campaign. I can't remember the name of the campaign. I'm amazed that they didn't get a feature made. But it might have been like Fist of Christ or Fist of I don't remember, but this one I did remember as an Indiegogo campaign, and this is like straight up Peter Jackson's Dead Alive style kills, and I loved it. It's hilarious if you just want just a completely politically incorrect zombie short from wait till you hear Jesus' scream at one point. But Jesus does battle with Roman zombies, cowboy zombies. He kills zombies with a fish. You heard that right, a fish. I think my favorite part of this is when he kills a leper that he thinks is a zombie. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And, well, Todd, I'm obviously throwing a lot of praise on this one. What did you think?
Yeah, that was, honestly, if we're doing it, because this is, a short, it's definitely an anthology film.
That would be a 5 short for me.
Yeah, that's my favorite short of the whole thing. It really starts it off with a bang. And I guess that means I can't say Jesus was the original zombie now, because there were zombies there and he hadn't been resurrected yet.
It was his fault.
But yes, it was definitely I was dying too. I actually want to go back and rewatch just that segment. That's how good that one is.
I put it on for a friend who not a huge horror fan, but it's something I will probably show all sorts of people. But it's funny though, you mentioned that was my favorite segment too. But a very close segment was the one from Spain.
But the last one?
The beach one.
I think it was called my second favorite too.
Brutal Relax. It's where basically just this goofy as hell looking dude is relaxing on the beach, and these zombies. I actually kind of thought they were more demons, truthfully. Interrupt, and that one actually. I really thought of kind of like Andreas Schnaas with some of the kills, the skeletons being pulled out of bodies, and
that was really cool.
Just him deliver. I thought Peter Jackson's Dead Alive, just the mayhem in those two shorts, when he was just like the priest when he was beating down the zombies. That's really what I thought watching this, and it just big ass smile on my face. I mean, those are the two money segments in this, but I actually thought all of the segments were pretty good. I mean, the gas station thing was kind of meh, but the mailman segment I thought was pretty funny, even though it's basically just leading up to one joke. The video game segment, I wish that were a little longer, but I thought that was pretty cool and clever. I've learned to, particularly lately, keep my expectations low with zombie flicks. This one was great. Like I said, I mean, it's all cobbled together from different things. Like I said, the Jesus one I know was an Indiegogo campaign at one point. And
we have all different types of zombies too. So we start off with running zombies, and there's just all different types throughout. So I mean, if there's a particular kind you're a fan of, you'll get to see it. We got slow shamblers, we got runners, we got demon-esque ones. I mean, I'm trying to think of other types, but they're all there.
I mean, if you are a zombie fan, you pretty much have to pick this up. I mean, obviously, again, if you love Troma and some of the films that we love, that may help. For those two segments, they're obviously very, very crazy, but generally speaking, I thought this was pretty fantastic. I was expecting it to be decent because there was some positive buzz, but I didn't know if that was just because Dread Central had their name behind it, but apparently a lot of people really enjoy it.
And they can kind of create their own buzz too, which helps.
Yeah.
I had seen the trailer, and I didn't know that we were getting, basically what is, an anthology.
The trailer really is weak. I thought.
So I actually, that's probably good we didn't get all the best parts in there, and then went in like so I was definitely low expectations, but it didn't look horrible. That was the other thing with the trailer. It wasn't like I was like, okay, we're reviewing this. Something good can come out of it. You never know. And we can't forget to mention they also had like the little zombie tips as a through line that they'd keep going back to. That was the other one besides, the newscaster. And I don't know if you noticed in that first zombie tip, did you notice Raccoon City was in the background?
I did see that. I thought that was funny and maybe chanting a lawsuit. I don't know, but there were actually a couple copyright issues. The one movie I really had a major role in, Ghoulish Tales. We had all sorts of copyright issues in that, but it's funny, I spotted more than a few in this one too.
Oh well, what else? I'm curious. I noticed Raccoon City. Do you remember the days you could make a movie and you didn't have to clear every little fucking thing on the wall? You could wear Mickey Mouse shirts?
Oh yeah. That's something that we shot a lot of that movie. I mean, good chunk of that movie in my library area, which
you got quite a few
collector. Yeah,
you got quite a few posters. I noticed that in the stills. I think I spotted a couple full moon ones in there. Did I see a substation?
Oh wow, you saw the movie. I didn't even know you saw that movie.
No, I haven't seen the movie yet. I've only seen the stills. I still need to see.
Okay, I will have to. I've been meaning to send you a copy, but yeah, it's copyright issues. Yeah, I saw like a Coca-Cola bottle. I'm sitting there thinking Coke didn't clear that for this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the odds of them actually, it's a funny thing, just discussions that I had. I mean, it just kind of got to a point where, you just kind of go, fuck it. I mean, what can we do? But
You just put a disclaimer. You just put a disclaimer in the credits. Coke does not endorse this product. Some shit to get around it.
I could see this movie because of the Jesus angle. You know what I mean? I don't exactly see Coke going after a small indie. That they figure out. Well, nobody saw this movie anyways. But I don't know this one. I mean, it's in Walmart. The sacrilegious angle. I could see somebody like throwing a shit fit. Hell, I might talk myself into buying a backup copy just in case.
I'm surprised Walmart even carried it due to this fact. I guess the reviewers didn't check that out.
Walmart's kind of funny sometimes. I have seen a couple. I mean, Bound was there, but then again, I guess that's just a knockoff of 50 Shades of Grey. I mean, I haven't watched that yet. I don't know how soft porn it gets.
You've seen their covers for Piranha 3 Double D?
Yeah.
Or I Spit on Your Grave. They're all, the Walmart covers, all jams. Really, they covered up some cleavage and zoomed in so you couldn't see her ass. I was like, wow.
They are. It does seem a bit redundant to bother with that. Yeah, Zombieland, I think they probably just saw it. Okay, it's zombies. I doubt anybody at Walmart actually watched the movie. Did one case, did you see the recent Olaf Ittenbach release, Legend of Hell?
I did not.
Okay, well, Ittenbach, gory, not unusually gory for Ittenbach or anything, but it's kind of got a bit of a medieval angle to it, and Walmart put their copy of it out as just Legend, not Legend of Hell, and they make it look more like a medieval movie. I don't think anything's cut as far as I can tell, but that was the most. It's not a movie that got a lot of attention, but I picked it up. And I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is Legend of Hell. What did they do? And then I'm reading the back and comparing, and they even changed that, which is, I haven't seen Walmart do anything quite that dramatic in a long time, particularly for such a small movie.
Did you pop it in? Does the title card change, or does it just say Legend?
Oh, wow. I will have to double check that. I don't remember.
You'll have to report back. I'm curious.
I think it said Legend of Hell.
Okay.
I think I'll report back to you on that one, but yeah, not cut or anything. But I think Phase 4 put that out, I believe.
Yeah, because I wonder with the Anchor Bay ones, those may have been self-imposed.
That is possible. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll let you know, but yeah, it does happen. This is definitely one of those movies where I could see, like, if it were a bigger movie and certainly had that whole Jesus segment in there, that it would certainly cause some issues.
Yeah.
Do you know who Bill Zabub is? I know we're getting off topic, but we will get back to the movie. We have a little extra time, so. Bill Zabub had like.
No, we sell TV Terror Talk too.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, we'll get into. We'll probably have an after our non-live listeners, but yeah, I mean, back to the movie. I mean, this is a hell of a lot better than VHS 3. I actually liked ABCs of Death 2 a lot, but other short collections, I'd still actually say this is actually probably even better than that or on par. I give this one 4.5. It's not quite perfect, like I said. There's one sort of throwaway segment. They do kind of rehash some Zombieland stuff that is kind of it is what it is. It's not a big deal.
I'm close. I give it a 4. Definitely recommend picking it up. How much was it at Walmart? Was it a $10 one?
Yeah, I believe it's $9.99 at Walmart. I believe, or it might have been $12. I don't know.
Okay. Well, either way, it's not an expensive disc. I kind of wish we would have got a blue, but I'm kind of guessing because of all the different formats, maybe that's why we just got a DVD. but it's definitely worth checking out. Breno will pick it up, $12, $10. I'm not sure on the price, but yeah, I definitely think it was our best one of the week. So, I mean, other than the
movie, sure.
Yes, thank you. I can't forget the other. If
you're a gore hound, you have to own this one for those 2 segments.
And I kind of hope we get I was going to say Zombieland too, but that too, a Zombie World too.
Absolutely, they have their work cut out for them. Hopefully, they can find segments, that short or like I said, the one was an Indiegogo that are that solid. I would love to see it. I think this is one a lot of people are going to pick up and be very happy with. So yes, moving on to TV Terror Talk. As always, spoiler heavy for TV Terror Talk. So if you haven't watched the last episode of Walking Dead, piss off now and pick up where you left off in the archives anytime. You can listen to us because that's still a question. 5-6 years that I've been doing this, whatever it's been. Everybody always says, "Oh, I can't listen at 9:30 on Thursday." You can listen anytime, except for about 15-20 minutes after we wrap.
Yes.
You can go back and listen to the archives anytime at your own leisure. So yeah, Todd.
And you can subscribe on iTunes and get the newest episodes, I believe, as soon as they go up. Because that, I don't know how long it takes from once we go into the Blog Talk archive to how long we get on the iTunes up there.
Yeah, I'm not an iTunes guy. I'm still a bit of a dinosaur when it comes to music.
Yes.
But
I still buy CDs.
I don't buy them that often, but yes, I still do too. It's just me.
I still have my wall of CDs. So I don't buy as many as I used to, but I'm old and I don't think they make good music like they used to.
It's pretty rare for me too. I'm just like, when's really some of the last stuff I've listened to that I've truly loved? I just can't think of anything. A lot of people I worked with were big death metal, I don't even know if I'm black metal, whatever, fans, and I just couldn't get into it. I'm like, maybe I am starting to get old.
That's funny because I'm a contradiction because horror movies are, my favorite genre, and then gangster rap. Genres that don't really go together. It's always, metal and stuff. Not necessarily death metal, but I'm like, but I'm a product of the 90s, so go figure. I'm waiting on that NWA movie.
I'm completely random with music, to be brutally honest. I might lose street cred, but it can be, all kinds of rock, a lot of classic stuff, and I'm all over the map with music. I'm not a huge rap guy. I don't like country, but there's exceptions.
I'm very specific in gangster rap. 89 to 1000-ish. Then it just was all rapping about money and clothes. So then I lost interest. I want to hear about bitches and shooting people. The fun stuff.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I've listened to some rap. I don't know. Yeah, it did. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Eminem killed it. I don't know. With I've come from the hood, and there's these pictures of him in a fucking Alf shirt in the middle of suburbia.
You know what? You blame Vanilla Ice. If you're going to blame anyone.
Okay, yeah. There are a lot of people who are responsible for killing that. I'm probably about as gangsta as Vanilla Ice and Eminem. But anyways, we're getting on another off-topic thing.
Yeah, we're off the wall. We always are.
But Walking Dead, Todd, what did you think?
I thought it was an episode. Yes, it was an episode. I thought it was a very good episode. And I know a lot of people were giving Rick shit on social media. I'm of the opinion,
including a certain someone I saw on his page.
I did too. I think he did the exact right thing. You can't and he even calls out Woodbury and The last one, the cannibals. Terminus. I mean, how can? And speaking of which, what happened to Dwayne's dad? We saw him a couple times, but we still haven't seen him. But yeah. I mean, how are you not going to be hesitant with going in that situation?
Well, you have to be at that point, especially. Yeah. But even, I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, we very rarely get too deep when we talk. I have had all sorts of like, what would you do? I've had quite a few this week because of this episode. What would you do in that situation? And I hate to say it, sort of like probably the same thing. I think he was a bit rash driving in the middle of the night like that. So I mean, I kind of understand some people's reaction to what decisions were, but I don't know. I think you just have to be really careful because if something like that happened, it really probably would go Wild West pretty fast. I think society would break down pretty easy. Unfortunately.
I agree, and I also think he could have had a little bit more tact than he did about handling the situation. Like pull the group aside, like we gotta, talk to them, not just do it the way they did it, but his decision. I mean, he was right. I mean, and a lot of people have pointed out, it's kind of how Shane would have handled stuff, and Rick's where he needed to be, and Shane was actually right all along.
Yeah, but Shane probably would have. I don't know.
I mean, other than the wife fucking.
Yeah. I don't know. Shane towards the end, though, Rick hasn't gotten to the point where he's completely off the rail like Shane. Shane, I don't think the group would have survived with Shane, because Shane, it was kind of in the looking for a fight mode. So I don't know. I don't think Rick's gone full Shane. He's a little more Shane now than he has been, but the entire group, I mean, you do get to a point where so many things do happen to you that, it's kind of actually just quoting Morgan from that fantastic episode. I don't know if I'm quoting this right, but you can't get me clear sort of thing. At a certain point, so many fucked up things happen to you that you just can't, you just can't bounce back and be a fine, upstanding citizen anymore. It's who you are. It's in your blood. But I've really loved this season. I think it is very, very cerebral. There's a lot going on with the characters. It's not just, kill, escape. It's a lot of interesting character stuff.
Right. But I would say, since, people complain about lack of zombies sometimes, how cool was the whole driving around the freeway and all those zombies just getting mowed down and the blood all over? That was a very cool visual. I thought was very, very cool. And you can't complain there wasn't a bunch of zombies getting run over or something.
No, they've been really good in the zombie light episodes to at least give us a couple highlights.
Yeah, and I have to say it's funny because we were mentioning earlier about the logos and stuff in there. Because the first thing I noticed was, ooh, Cadillac, and it was I couldn't tell the exact year, 79, 83. A lot of times they didn't change their body styles for a few years. So, and then I noticed there was no logos, no emblems, but I know a caddy, so I was like, damn, can't even have the Cadillac logo on the car. That's part of the car. It's jacked up. It's like goddamn whatever, I don't know, the corporate bullshit now.
Yeah. It Walking Dead, like I said, I know the grass. I haven't noticed the grass. Well, I think there have been a couple mowed grass sequences, but that is something I know people always harp on. I'm trying to think, what have we, since Walking Dead season 1, what technology now do we have that we shouldn't have on that show? I don't know if I've spotted any mistakes.
You know, it depends where you want to get when we start. That's the whole debate, because I know there's been some cars that were a little too new, I think. When they had that car sponsorship, that car popped up on the show. I can't remember what it was, because it was definitely there. 4 Reasons is a new car. You can see the emblems. They were definitely showing it off in one episode. I can't remember which. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen anything, I mean, technology-wise, that we shouldn't.
Maybe GM started the apocalypse. They're still out there building cars.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen any Land of the Dead moments.
No. Yeah,
Chris will not let that. Chris cannot let the flat screen. Our former co-host Christopher McGibbon cannot let the whole flat screen technology thing go in Land of the Dead.
And he's hated it. He hated it at that point. Just boom. It's like this movie is dead to me. No pun intended. I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at too many group pages for Walking Dead. I know there's always people bitching about it, but I'm like, you know what? This has been a pretty damn good show, a pretty damn good journey with these characters, and knowing things are about to get particularly fucked up if they stick to the comics, because, and I'm talking more than the governor fucked up, I really hope they don't puss out with what I'm assuming Negan going to be the new villain. Unless they pull a 180 or give him a name change or something. There's some pretty special things to come. And on Gore highlights, I should also throw out the flare gun walker, which I thought was pretty cool. You had more than a few Gore highlights in this one.
And we didn't have any famous zombie cameos that I noticed.
No, I don't think so. Not in this one. But I thought it was a great episode, and I'm really... How many do we have left to go? 3?
I just said when the finale was earlier. The March 29th, was it? So probably 4,
okay.
Yeah, because I think that... Yeah.
4, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because they do 8 and 8, so yeah.
Already, jeez.
Do you like the way they split it, though? I feel it's kind of a good thing, because you don't have that, like, the insane... Well, it's still a pretty long wait, but there have been some shows, like Helix, for example, like it was almost an entire year, and it's just, you really do start forgetting shit after that point.
Oh, jeez. That's how it was with the Sopranos. Was another one. Then they had one that was a particularly long in between seasons that was like almost a year and a half. So
I think with Sopranos, actually. Yeah.
Well, because there was one, I remember they moved the start from whenever it used to start because they were taking longer, and I remember taking a long... Because, normally you start, say you start September, you'll do the 13 episodes and start the next September. But they did something like, they did that, and they started the January, instead of the September. So it was a lot longer. Well, yeah, so I think it does help that they do split it up. But, I mean, AMC does that for most of their shows. I know. I'm still waiting on the last episodes of Mad Men. So,
I mean, I know, like I said, Game of Thrones probably one of the best shows on television right now. I mean, it's quality over quantity. I mean, they only do, I think it's 10 episodes of those. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's 10. I don't think it's even 12. It's 10. But every time you watch it, you feel like you're watching like an epic movie. Yeah. I mean, it's like Lord of the Rings with tits and gore.
All right. Well, we're going to say goodnight to our live listeners, and we're going to jump into the archive.
Yes.
Make sure you listen Tuesday to the calling hours, and we'll be back next week. And I guess goodnight, and everyone listening live, and We'll continue our discussion now. Okay, well, we're going to get cut off. It's just a warning, everyone. Sorry to throw you off.
Yep.
I just wanted to throw it off before we got cut off.
Flesh Wound After Dark.
Yes.
I know we'll have, well, I guess we basically do have our reviews already set for next week. I know we have Wormwood, the Australian, another zombie flick, hopefully on par with Zombie World. We'll be very happy. I know we're doing the Blackula double feature Blu-ray, Exterminators from the year 3000, Massage Parlor of Death, and Misogynistic. Did I remember all of those? Misogynist, yes. Or whatever it's called.
Misogyny. Or is it misogynistic? Well, yeah, misogynistic. Okay. So, yeah, that's what we have in store next week. Unless we have any last-minute changes. We didn't mention at the top of the show, The Beyond was supposed to be released. We got a street date pushed to. Can't tell if it's March 10th or the 24th. I've heard both. Amazon has it listed as the 24th, and I believe the date correction sheet that Grindhouse sent out says the 10th. With Massacre. What is the other one? The other Grindhouse one? Massacre.
Massacre Mafia style, I think, is the 10th. Yeah.
Yes, I was going to say Italian style. Yeah, that one is either the 10th or the 24th. They're both opposite weeks, but the street date correction sheet said the Beyond would be the 10th, and I just lost the title again. Massacre Mafia style would be the 24th.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but
I think
Amazon's still listing at the 24th.
Closer to the highly anticipated Gone with the Pope release.
Yeah, when is that one coming out?
I don't think it's a whole lot. I know that I've got it I do have it pre-ordered. It's either April or May. I think it might be April.
Yeah. And I don't know if you've heard. I don't know if you've heard the reason for this delay. I don't know if you've been in the loop, because I'm sure you've seen some YouTubers who have gotten their review copies. The reason for the delay is the Criterion style cases. They're because they're back ordered in this country, and they got to ship from the manufacturer and all this stuff. So that's what our release date changes keep, because we can't get those damn Criterion style cases. And everything has to be handed.
We're pretty anal about packaging. I'm not as anal as you would expect me to be for.
I know. I'm actually surprised. I know. I would have been happy with just and I know you don't even particularly care for them. I would have just been happy standard DVD case and a slipcover. That's all I needed.
No, it's fine for me. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I have so many movies. I mean, it's literally ridiculous now. I mean, I just bought another new shelf. I have 40 shelves. It's sad. It all bleeds together so much that I just don't need super fancy packaging. I'm not a steelbook guy.
I'm actually anti-steelbook, so.
Yeah.
Digibook, I prefer, if we just all had standard cases. I mean, that was the whole reason of doing the standard Blu-ray case, so we didn't have all this different, packaging. I mean, I don't Digibooks, no. Digibooks are out.
Plus,
book packaging.
With Blu-ray, too, is they're thinner. They don't take up as much space as DVDs. My Blu-ray collection is it's huge. I mean, it's still bigger than I think just about anybody I know, but that's a much smaller section of the library because they're very thin. So I don't know. I don't need Blu-ray to start going all bulky again. Standard's fine by me.
Although, see, here's what I agree. But with something like the Halloween set, I'm really glad we got individual cases. I just like the look of that.
Well, I think if you're paying, most expensive purchase for me in recent memory, I mean, it was just under $300 was the Doctor Who set with everything, and that's something where if you're spending that kind of money, maybe, yeah, okay, this is like a centerpiece sort of thing. But for just standard like movies, just one movie, I don't know. I don't need like wacky packaging. I don't own any of the crazy Walking Dead pack. Those are cool. I was tempted with the aquarium.
I do. See, I don't either technically, except for the first one that came with the mask, because they did that. They added more extras. I'm a content guy, so if you add content on it, I'm going to go get that version. Good example, I got to go get the Kid the Hunger Games, the new one's coming out next Friday, and I got to go get him the Target. I've only watched the first one, and I didn't hate it. I want to watch the second, third. I just haven't yet. And because I know that it's available, I have to go get him the Target one because it has more content.
Yeah, a bunch of people tell me, try it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I did watch the first 2 Twilight movies on the bet because I had to, and I sure as hell didn't find anything redeeming.
I would never tell you to watch those, but I think you might get a kick out of the Hunger Games ones. I mean, I watch Woody Harrelson almost anything, so I gave it a shot. I mean, I heard all the Battle Royale similarities, and yeah, I mean, for a teeny bopper pick, it's much better than the Twilight cycle. So
I know a few people that are pretty huge fans of it, so. So yeah, no, and they're definitely not teeny boppers. So maybe I'll check.
I mean, it's that what do they call it? The young fiction or young adult. Yeah, it's definitely that.
It's one of the. I can't say though. I was about to say that it's like one of the guaranteed money makers. I don't know if I'd say that because there have been several films in the wake of Twilight that fall under that sort of. Young fiction, we're going to try and milk Twilight for all it's worth, and they haven't had huge box office success. So I don't know, it depends. Cirque du Freak, I think, was one that kind of tanked. There have been a few others. But yeah, well, we're definitely in overtime. I think what I'm going to do, what am I going to watch after this? Usually after the Oh,
that
yeah, that's
lie.
true.
You're like, damn it, I forgot. You can still watch it.
I did forget. Well, I'll probably be up late tonight. I'll probably watch a couple things.
You know nothing ever happens on that show, so you can watch it tomorrow.
Well, yeah, I already know what happens on SmackDown. That's the problem. I'm all caught up on NXT, which is awesome as always.
I am not. Has Rhino made his debut on TV yet?
Oh yeah, last week. Yeah.
Okay. I have to watch the stuff after the, I would say pay-per-view, but after the what do we call them now? The special events.
Special events, I guess. Yeah.
Supercard. There we go. Supercard.
Do you listen to like the Gerwick podcast and everything?
The who?
Gerwick.net podcast, and I know you're.
I don't.
I listen to.
I'm a PW insider guy.
Well, that's kind of the top, but yeah, I don't know. I a lot of people bitch, and I'm just thinking. It was at a point where I was spending like $55 to watch pay-per-views in HD, and I mean there were some of the lesser pay-per-views where that's kind of tough, even as a die-hard wrestling fan.
Yeah,
I
know.
To ask, I mean, over the limit, do I need it?
Yeah, exactly. Is that why you got yourself a Chrome stick and all that stuff?
An Amazon Fire Stick? Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah. Because I know you're not super technical, but I know you don't like watch stuff on your computer either.
No, I hate watching on my computer. Yeah. I've done it every once in a blue moon where I have no choice, but it really just ruins the experience. I don't understand this generation, because I know some people that literally watch everything on their laptop, and I'm just like, God damn, that would drive me nuts. You know,
I know.
Number one, if it's a shitty movie, I can't multitask on my laptop.
Yeah. That's the you know, I'm the same way. My only exception, shocker, is with wrestling. Every time I'm at the mother-in-law's house and we're there for an extended period of time, I just kind of watch it on my phone. Or now I watch it on my tablet. I finally broke down and got a free tablet, but whatever. So I'll just like watch it on that, so I don't have to bother everyone else with my obsession. That's the only thing. And I can watch it in, like, I don't have to sit down and watch the whole 2 hours. 3 hours. I can sit and watch it and go back.
The only time in recent memory I've watched stuff on my laptop was when I was on my Caribbean cruise just recently over December. It was funny. I was literally staring out at the waters of Haiti, watching the classic Japanese death matches with Terry Funk and Mick Foley and.
I have to see you don't have Roku yet, huh? No, you just have the Amazon one, right?
Yeah, I just have Amazon right now. I might pick up Roku at some point.
Because I'm going to recommend you this week's episode of UEW TV. It has the Four Corners Death Match from the last from Saturday's show already on there, and the return of Homeless Jimmy or the debut of Homeless Jimmy, and some other hardcore legend. But the next show is going to be a Type A death match, since you brought that up earlier.
I did, yes. That's really cool. I will say, you've probably been to more shows in general than I have, because out here right now the indies are, unless I go out into Pennsylvania, of course, it's about as hot as it can get. But right here, I really don't attend indies regularly, and but when I did, those XPW shows, the death matches, everything, that is like some of the coolest shit you can see live. It's cool watching it, on DVD or TV, whatever, but live, XPW had some they were just fun shows, really fun shows, and I don't know, there is a move coming up. I don't know where I'm going to end up. Orlando's kind of the default move for me right now, in which case I'll be an NXT guy. So
we'll have to get you out here one time to visit at least and see a show, because I think now that there's the home arena that they have a 3-year lease on, I think it's gonna. They're starting to get a following. I remember when their Facebook page had like 100 likes, and now they're getting up there. So
there's no reason why the West Coast should. The West Coast, California, fantastic wrestling. It's been that way for a long time, but I'm surprised there's not more. You know what I mean? There should just be a lot more volume.
I've always gone with PWG gets the coverage, but it's just the fact that the wrestling media is on the east, the northeast, and that's where WWE is. It's other than the Willie Macks and the Joey Ryans and the guys who travel other countries and stuff. Christy Ranieri, she was TNA, but they don't get noticed as much. I know Joey Chaos's school, Santino Brothers, has a reputation, but throughout the East and West. But a lot of these guys aren't getting, just the noticed. It does help that G2 Money's up at WWE at NXT now, so he knows about them. So which I'm sure is why Willie Mack got a look.
I know we're off topic, but this is kind
completely at this point.
But Samoa Joe, first Ring of Honor show. They said, well, this is probably going to be a one-time thing, so we don't want to fly you in from California. So it can be tough for West Coast talent, but I don't know. I would sure love to be seeing some of those NXT shows right now. I don't know how Vince McMahon can't. I don't know. It sounds horrible, but I just really hope that he gets like dementia at some point and he can step down. He just doesn't.
I don't know.
Get it.
from that cover of that Muscle and Fitness, I just think someone's poking him in the ass and not in the not the beady thermometer kind of way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. That 70 years old, or I want to say almost 70.
Yeah, or is he 70? I don't know. Did he turn the big 70? I thought he did, because I know Funk is 70 now, and was he a year younger or a year older than Funk? I can't remember. But yeah, there was definitely some photoshopping action going on there. I mean, he's in pretty good shape he's in great shape for his age, but I had to call bullshit on that. But it was so funny. I wasn't keeping up with the news for a couple days, and I saw the first thing I log on is I see Roman Reigns blows a wellness test, and I didn't even check into it. And I remember I sent you an email. I was just like, oh shit. I'm talking to myself. Well, we're going to say goodbye to you guys. We are obviously in overtime, and in true flesh wound tradition, we got cut off here. But hey, if you're still a wrestling fan and you want a little rant, goodbye, guys.
Universal Studios Hollywood is introducing the California Neighbor Pass. For the neighborly price of just $119 online, you get over 200 days in the park. So swing by and share some laughs with your neighbors, like the Minions. Or Homer Simpson.
Go nuts.
Even go on an adventure with Harry Potter.
Stay close and follow me.
Visit UniversalStudiosHollywood.com to get over 200 days of thrills, laughter, and wonder with the new California Neighbor Pass for $119 online. Pass valid for 9 months from selected first visit date. Blackout dates, restrictions apply.